There's a light. I ran out of breath, guys. Sorry. Hi, burning in the fireplace. So I had like a little Rocky Horror fix that I needed. Hi, Dan. It does feel like forever since I have had a live. So, and I apologize with the holiday and my new posting schedule. Things have gotten a little bit wonky. I am revising my posting schedule. So I'm going to do things a little bit differently moving forward, just because now we don't have Angus's band schedule. Karen, that's okay. The last live went a little bit sideways. So it was very fun. Certain people were outed on the channel. Gregopedia now has a microphone. That was one of the things we were testing out. We were testing out how his microphone would work. And unfortunately, we can't do that testing when you guys when we're not live, because it doesn't perform the same way. So thank you for being part of that experiment. And then my good friend Trevor Colt came on over, and the last live really was because he was live and he was like, we're trying to put a live together and we've got to do something together. And I was like, you know what, I'm inspired, I'm going to do a live. So and I said, if you want to come over, you can. And sure enough, he popped over because he is true blue. He's a good dude. So let's talk a little bit about some pop culture. Let's talk about some readings for you guys. I got Tea and Crumpet. Tea and Crumpet. I see you up there. And I'm going to throw you, because this is a nice thing that Tea and Crumpet just said, that I lift the spirits without the bottle. So I have a little bit of spirits in this just because it's the afternoon. Unmuting. Looks like my mic went out for a second. And we are back. We're back. Thumbs up if you can hear me. Thumbs up. Thumbs up if you can hear me. Help me out here, kids. Let me see. I want to go over to... Oh yeah, Dave, it literally was just for like a half hour. Loud and clear. Excellent. I'm going to bring this up on my creator studio. Thank you, Kathy Herman. Kathy Herman, you're not the same Kathy Herman I went to high school with, are you? So I went to high school with a Kathy Herman. Herman, not Erman. Now every screen went dark for a second. This is what I get. I did a Diddy video today. All right. So where's my camera? Why is my camera acting up? From the slap. I'm back. Oh, you're from Kansas. Okay. So, hi, Penny. Hi, Penny. So, from the slap. That I say that all the time, guys. And I actually said it in one of my bloopers. I leave the bloopers in my shorts now because they're really funny. From the slap is from the bloopers on Cannonball Run with Burt Reynolds and Dom DeLuise, both of whom I loved. So let's do some readings for you guys. Let's do some readings for pop culture. Dave Murphy, you, my dear, had a question for me about the Hernandez brothers. So I think I want to start with that. I think I want to talk about those Hernandez brothers. Thanks, Dave. So one of the things I think I am going to do a little bit differently, I think I'm going to be doing a little bit more true crime, guys. You have sounded the alarm, and now that everybody knows what Greg does, Greg's profession was outed on the last live accidentally. So We all know what Greg does now. So Zephyr K9 does. Zephyr K9. That was really funny. That was really funny. Outer Limits. Hello, my friend. Hello, my friend. So wait, yeah, spotted your free apple tree. Loads of blossoms. How did it get there? Maybe a throwaway pip. Maybe. Oh, Zeph, did you figure it out? Did you? I didn't. You know, we really did try and keep it kind of undercover. Undercover. So you know, it's so funny. So my next oldest sister, she's married to a police officer, and well, now everyone knows I'm married to a police officer, and my oldest sister just got remarried to a police officer. So and he's retired. He's a great guy. He's really a great guy. Giant. And Gregopedia is a giant too, but he actually I told my father, well, you completed the whole set, now you have your own police squad. So my dad was like, I do, don't I? So very, very fun. So all right, let's do Tea and Crumpet. You're gonna get some cards, and I'm working with the Renaissance Tarot this week. I've been kind of going back and forth. I've been a little whorish with my decks this week. I've been kind of skipping around to different ones, so I apologize for that. But Tea and Crumpet, let's see if we can give you some good vibes for this week. Good vibes. Weekend's coming. It's Thursday, isn't it? It's Taco Thursday. 5 of Cups, 7 of Coins, the Hierophant, the Moon, and the Sun. So let's make this a little bit bigger so you can see it a little bit better. So this is what I have to tell you, Miss Tea and Crumpet. Oh, it's Friday for you, Dave Murphy. You go, girl. So the 5 of Cups, sometimes when we are disappointed about things, and this is about putting things in the past. So Renee Kennedy with Greg's late friend Chris, he was super Irish. So he would come over for Taco Tuesday every Taco Tuesday. He loved coming over. When we reveal Greg, I'll reveal the picture of him and Chris and Angus in luchador masks on a Taco Tuesday. But when he couldn't make it on Tuesday because of their work schedules, we'd have Taco Thursday, and we'd listen to Irish music, and we would drink whiskey while we ate our tacos. So worst Irish accent ever. So back to Tea and Crumpet. Tea and Crumpet, I'm all over the place. I'm super ADD today. So when we look back on our life and we look back on the things that we're disappointed about, sometimes we don't need to overly examine those. Sometimes we need to take ownership of the place and the time and the status that we're in right now. And then what gets revealed is happiness in the now, present living. And this is something, having been in sales as you know, for all of my adult life, living in the present is something that's very, very difficult for me to do. This, believe it or not, even though like I'm telling people how to manage themselves in the future, this really is living in the present, because I'm living with a current situation in someone's life, a current question, a query that they have. So this brings me to the present much more than my other jobs. Some people's vocations and jobs do not allow them to live in the present. For you, this is an emotional thing that you just need to leave on the side and live in the day for the person that you are right now. It will bring you happiness and love in the moment, but you got to wait for it to grow. All right. So I hope that gives you a little boost for the week. I hope that is a little bit of boost without the bottle. So, do I make my own taco shells? I have made my own tortillas, just by hand. I just make them by hand with a little roly pin. I don't know if they're authentic. I'm Italian, so I don't know. Dave Murphy always says Taco Thursday, but you're on the other side of the planet, love. So there it is. So I'm gonna go back. I want to go back. Dave Murphy, we're going to talk. I'm just going to put up I love that you put the outtakes in the show. So this is what I'm going to do. We're going to read on the Hernandez brothers for Dave Murphy. So those of you that are unaware, I think it was 1989, the Hernandez, because I think I think I was in high school when this went down. I think I was just graduating. I was like, oh, they're kind of a mess. Let me see. Hernandez brothers. So, yeah, one was born in 68, one was born in 70, so they're both a little bit older than me. When did these murders take place? 1989. 1989. So, blah, 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 blah. Let's get a timeline on this. August 18th, 1989 was when all of this went down. I don't know how I feel about it either. Hi, ma'am. I see you there. I don't know how I feel about it either. Having grown up in a neighborhood that had kids of privilege that all lived very, very well, I couldn't imagine that anyone Fire Daddy, you good man. Let me drop your link. Hang on one second, guys. I just want to drop Fire Daddy's link. Let me go to channel. Get your link here. Everybody, if you can, go on over. Give Fire Daddy some love. Subscribe to him. He is a super fun reader. He keeps it moving. He keeps it real. It's good stuff. I saw you were live the other day. I think it was last night. And I was already in bed. I went to bed early last night. And I was like, oh, and you just wrapped up. You were just finishing up. So go on over there and follow Fire Daddy. He's got a great accent. Great dude. He's in the same time zone as me. Super, super cool. Fire Daddy, let's collab sometime soon. Let's I peeked the mic, sorry. Let's do a collab sometime soon. We'll do something fun. I'm going to be doing a lot more true crime. I'm gonna do the true crime. I'm gonna go. So talking about the Hernandez brothers. So I grew up with kids of privilege, and Debbie, I got your question there. They allegedly took their parents off the earth plane, and the father was actually responsible for Menudo, one of the first boy bands, and they both brothers claimed that the father had been interfering with them. I got you there, Zephyr. They claimed that their father had been interfering with them, and that was their response to it. So some of the more gory and disturbing and graphic parts of it, they did go and reload. They went back to the car, I believe, and reloaded. So yeah, it's like pretty not okay. So they are appealing the case now. And I think it's very curious that I'm going to bring my face up here. I think it's really curious that we're getting an appeal for Scott Peterson. And actually, one of my followers was like, yeah, I was never comfortable with the Scott Peterson conviction. It really is. These are two big cases that affected people of my demographic and age group. I think it's kind of shocking that this is even being considered. So let's do a couple of questions here. So what is the legitimacy of the facts of the Hernandez case? Hey, Dave Murphy, can you just post up a question about the Hernandezes just so I can put it in the bottom? And that way anybody that's coming in will know what we're talking about. I don't have to keep repeating myself. Legitimacy of the case, of their conviction, legitimacy. 7 of Cups, there's a lot more going on here. the sun in reverse, things being revealed, the moon underneath, there's stuff that's missing, the empress in reverse, mommy issues, um 10 of cups in reverse, house was not happy, 10 of coins, that is money stuff too, so yes, the outer limits, yes. This is just them taking their parents off the earth plane. Just the legitimacy of the information in that particular case. That's where I'm going. So a lot going on there. I think there is more than meets the eye about the unhappiness of this home. I think we're going to find out some other things, perhaps about the mom. Why the mom? Because if you're gonna elaborately, thank you, Dave Murphy, you wonderful human being, Dave Murphy. A round of applause for Dave Murphy because he's super cool. I have had the opportunity to talk to him privately, and he's a super cool guy. Dave Murphy, I can't wait for you to come to the United States and visit. Can't wait. We're going to plan all kinds of fun stuff for you. So I think the reason the mother was taken off the earth planes. Yes, Sally L. Thank you very much. Menendez, not Hernandez. This is why we don't know. Sorry, Dave. I keep saying Hernandez, Menendez. Jesus. I'm so off my game. Yes, the Menendez. Yes, Sally, I'm going to put your comment up here. Wait, yes, Menendez. Menendez. There isn't a Hernandez case. So, for Pete's sake. So I think, we've got some issues with why mom. The Four of Swords. Oh boy, I think mom knew. And I think she wasn't collateral damage in this. Dave Murphy, don't you worry. Yeah, Zeph, I think the mom knew too. Yeah, that's a shame. So I think that there's going to be more here. All right, so that let's run with that, kids. Let's run with that. So you know what, Debbie, I'll ask that question. Why didn't they just leave? One was in college. The one was like a pretty serious tennis player. The Tower, the Devil, Six of Cups, Knight of Cups, Three of Wands. They did not think that Three of Cups there. They did not think that they could make it on their own. Now that sounds stupid. That sounds really stupid when you're a full-blown adult. And outer limits, I think you're onto something here. The Tower in reverse. I think the amount of disappointment that they would have inspired in the father would have been overwhelming. They would have lost their money. This is all about money. We've got where am I seeing the Devil card here? The Three of Wands, Eight of Cups. It's primarily about how they are going to survive financially, how they would do it, but it's also, and I know that like some people aren't going to quite understand this. This is the only family they had. This is the family they knew. So do you walk away from that? Do you walk away from that to nothing? Do you imagine a circumstance in which your entire family is wiped out and just you and one sibling are left. That's really disturbing. Everyone because it would cut off everything that they knew. It would cut off the lifestyle that they knew. It would cut off the social connections that they knew. If they revealed this, they would have been pariahs, not only socially, but in their family as well. It would have caused a rift. And if it didn't cause a rift, it would have caused weirdness. It was, I hate to say this, but and it sounds so crass, but you just gotta bite your lip and take it, you know? You gotta bite your lip and take it. But you can only do that for so long. You can only stuff emotion and rage for so long, and then it blows out. And that's this, the 3 of Cups in reverse. Not only did the rage explode, but there were 2 of them. If there had been 1 of them, the outcome may not have been the same. There were 2 of them. So when you have 2 people that have the same enemy and the same circumstance and the same want of retribution and the same debt paid, when they get together, especially brothers, especially in a fraternity like this, they are going to feed off each other and that energy is going to grow. Um, Zephyr, I know that they did tell somebody about it and it was kind of shrugged off. Not really attended to in the way that it should have, but I think they were older when that came out. Or they admitted it to the cousin. um it's almost, it seems like it's just a backstory. It seems like it's a backstory. um Deb, at any given time, this is such a prime example of free choice, free will. Let's do something kind of fun here. Well, not that this is a fun topic. What would have happened to Lyle and Kyle? Was his name Kyle? Is it Lyle and Eric? So, what if they did not make this ultimate decision? What would they have turned into? Okay. So I think Lyle was the one that was the tennis player. Let me just check on that factoid for a minute. Oh, and here's a fun fact. Lyle is actually Joseph Lyle. He goes by his middle name. Eric was the one who played tennis, was an excellent tennis player. So let's see what would have happened to Lyle and Eric had they not gone this route. What would their adult lives have been like? 3 of Cups. This is Lyle on the top. Kyle on the bottom. Or wait, Lyle on top, Eric on the bottom. Eric is the one that played tennis. So Eric would have done better as a functioning human had they not done this, had they not made this ultimate decision to change the course of their lives and end the course of their parents' lives. So Lyle here, I think Lyle would have become I don't think he would have had an easy life. I think he would have fallen into some kind of mediocrity in terms of career. It feels like a lot more of the eggs were put in the Eric basket because of his talent on the tennis court. But Lyle, I think Lyle would have possibly had substance issues. This 3 of Cups, And when I say substance issues, that could be gambling, that could be food, it could be, substances, that kind of thing. It could be. This sits poorly with me, the 6 of Cups, because the 6 of Cups is children. And I wonder if he potentially could have gotten himself into some questionable situations in relationships. And again, this is a what if they didn't go that route? How would this rage have manifested? Possibly substance abuse, indulgence, that kind of thing. I read between my lines. Zephyr, you read between the lines very well. I think he would have been start again, stop again, start again, stop again, start again, stop again. I think he would have ping-ponged from situation to situation, relationship to relationship, job to job. I think his existence would have been more of a failure to launch, not really kind of getting into a groove. Now, Eric down here, because Eric had the safety hatch, Eric would have been able to. Renee, I think I see your question. I think there might have been, it might have gotten weird. Yeah, potentially. It feels more internalized. It feels more that I think he would have medicated himself with something. I think he would have treated himself, trying to get rid of the anxiety, trying to quiet the voices, stop the illusions in his head. I think all of that. There would have been efforts put forth. How that would manifest, it would depend on how it was handed to him. But I think more importantly is this start and stop failure. Start again, failure. Start again, failure. New job, failure. New relationship, failure. It all falls apart. There's no sustainability except for the noise of the ABUSE that he would have to quiet in some fashion. So, Eric, on the other hand, would have had an out, I think, at some point. I think he would have been able to escape the situation either by going off and being a successful tennis player, going off and being a successful rep for a tennis company, something like that, news, like a sports newscaster, that kind of thing. The man on the ground, the man on the court. I definitely feel like that is where he would have gone. Communication is one of the keywords for the 8 of Wands: speed, moving away, not being there all the time, and fat and happy, a success, a pride of the family, the 10 of Cups, the 10 of Coins. He would have been a pride. I think that would have been his lot. I definitely think that Lyle had a harder time with it. I think it's interesting that he used his middle name. I think it's interesting because that gives him a whole new lifetime. What would the dad have been like? Daddy Menendez. What would have happened to him had he not been abruptly stopped? Never would have learned from his actions and would have continued in some fashion. 8 of Coins, 9 of Wands, the Emperor, and the outcome, Ace of Coins. I think Mr. Menendez, what was his name? Was it Joe and Kitty? Jose. Did he go by Joe, though? Did he go by a different name? So I think he would have continued. Hi, Valerie from California. How are you, dear? I think he would have continued doing what he was doing. Read between the lines again. And I do think that there was a certain amount of protection that he had and leadership. In Hollywood, money and power is so significant. Hi, Trevor, in bed watching. You even have a frame, a red ring around your picture. You still have a frame around your picture. I was asking Trevor, how do you get that border around your thumbnails? And I spelled it wrong. So I do think that the father would have continued to do that. It would have, and I know this is counter to what the data on this says. I think he would have dialed it back a little and been more selective about who he went for. We got to be careful about this topic because it could get us really in trouble. Yes, Mary Louise, Kitty. I knew her name was Kitty. So what would Kitty have turned out like? What would Kitty have turned out like? Oh, Fire Daddy, you're going live? Oh man. Sorry, dude. I didn't check my fellow tarot readers' lives. Go ahead and go live. When we wrap up here, I'll bring everybody over to yours. We'll have a party over on yours. Okay. And then I'll throw another shot in my drink here. So we're doing a little tipsy tarot, guys. So Kitty was a slave to the coin. Slave to the coin. A little slave to the coin there. This, always looking for that creature comfort being taken care of. And it's seductive, guys. It is seductive when you are in a situation where there's a lot of money and a lot of wiggle room to have money coming at you to do whatever you want, to buy whatever you want, to vacation whenever you want. It's seductive. And I think the blinders that were on her came on and off as needed. I think they came on and off as needed. Psychically, I am getting her leaving the house when there was one particular incident going on. She knew, and she left the house and she went shopping. And there was a stop at a vista point. She was overlooking like a park or something like that. And she drove away from the house and waited it out, which is really awful. Hi, good ship lollipop. Waited it out, really. It shocks me with women that have access to this kind of money that they would allow something like that to happen when you can lay that hammer down. I know it was 1989. Laws were a little bit different. But she could have laid that hammer down. I don't think she had a lot of control over the ducats. But you can see her downfall is the Queen of Coins. Not being able to manage those coins, not being able to pile them up on her own and take care of them. So, in that case, like, you can't go to an attorney and say, hey, I want to retain you. I just found out, I belong to a mom's group, and somebody was asking, there was an anonymous person asking for a good divorce attorney, as you see on some of these moms groups. And she said, I saw someone, they wanted $5,000 retainer. And somebody was like, you're lucky. They're usually 10. So, it's, was the mom, Outer Limits, that's a good one. So the mustard. Was the mother as controlled as the boys? Yeah. And it was a back and forth. It was a gaslighting kind of, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. Here, let me make this better. So I'll buy you a new toy. Here, have this new Mercedes, which is, I'm not making excuses for this, but again, very, very sensitive topic. I'm sorry if any of you are being triggered. As Zephyr, I know, my mom had a circumstance with my biological father, and it was a very different different circumstance when I was younger. Just for the new people, the guy that I refer to as my dad, my awesome dad, is actually my stepfather. But he has raised me for all of my life. So, for most of my life. So, the rules were very different. In circumstances like that. So yes, I think she was controlled by the boys. Dave Murphy. Was she worried about appearances? Yeah, I agree, Zephyr. It's not all right. Just times were very different. The laws were very, very different. There's Tracy Thurman law. And Tracy Thurman was a young gal in Connecticut who was in a very A relationship. And she called the police repeatedly. And on the last occasion, her ex came to the house, and the police had to stand down while she was, being attacked by this ex. And he had done this a bunch of times to her, and then kicked her in the head, and he paralyzed one side and did nerve damage to the other side. I just lost all of the viewers just left. So, all right, we're talking about some crazy stuff. We'll talk about the Royals in a minute. So, Outer Limits, yeah. Good for you. I'm glad. I hope you got a good set of parents too. So was she worried about appearances? Yeah, she was worried about, she was more so worried about what was going to happen. Where was she going to go? Who was going to love her? Who was going to trust her? And I do think she was worried about how that looks at the end of the day, how that life looks at the end of the day without mommy, daddy, having a match set there. So, all right, this is a heavy topic. So how do we think this is going to turn out for them? And I'm going to read for them together because we can't really read for them alone because they can't say yes to one without the other. Strike that. I'm going to read them separate. So here's Lyle. Here's Eric. Lyle. 10 of Swords. Oof. 10 of Swords for Lyle. My goodness. Lovers in Reverse for Eric. Temperance. Judgment. 2 of Coins. I do think that the sentencing may be different. So, and I'm not sure, I'm not a legal person, so I don't know. I don't know if they can re-sentence them, if anybody in the chat knows, but I feel like Lyle gets re-sentenced and his time is different. But he never really gets out of jail. Like, he never mentally really gets out of jail. He stays there, and he's always in the prison. He never gets out of it. He just doesn't. Eric. I really wonder if they're not singing from, I don't know if it's double jeopardy, Debbie, because it doesn't, it feels like they just changed the sentencing. Like it's almost softened. They don't retry them. They're not reconvicted, but they change the sentencing somehow. And I don't know if they can do that. They could be okay if the appeal is thank you, Dave. If the appeal is successful, they could be resentenced and even released with time served. That kind of feels like Lyle. It feels like he's resentenced and he gets out pretty soon, but he's so damaged. He's so damaged from it. Now, I feel like they're separating as brothers. I feel like the relationship this has destroyed their relationship now. There's something that's going to happen that's going to destroy this relationship. I don't think that Lyle will ever trust Eric again. I just don't think that that is possible. I didn't really watch the Netflix show. I think I watched like the first episode and that was it. Like I watched up until the actual and then I say it like that so that they don't get it. Yeah, Outer Limits institutionalized both at home and inside the prison system. I think so. And like you can't two go in, one comes out. I kind of feel like that, Zephyr. It feels like Lyle doesn't come out whole at all. It just really feels like he is a shell of a human being. Eric, I don't know what to make out of Eric. I don't know what to make out of him. This is the Lovers for me is about partnerships being broken when it's in reverse, covenants being broken. And it's almost like that covenant is broken and he tries to go out and be Mr. 1989 again, and it just doesn't really work that way. He can't come out and just be like, time served, I'm cool now. We'll have to keep watching. I don't even know what the timeline on this is because I just did a Diddy reading because the Diddy case is coming up next month. So I think it's going to be very interesting. And after I did the reading, if you're members, you can watch it now. They're all dropping tomorrow. The Justin Bieber and the Diddy reading. Diddy reading is going to come out in the afternoon. But I said he looks different. We're not gonna see the same guy. And then I looked it up and they said yes, Diddy does indeed look different. Apparently he has a beard now or something like that. So all right, so let's get off these Hernandez brothers. They wouldn't know how to use a smartphone. Yeah, 1997. They've been in prison since 1997. That late? Really? Oh, Karen Reed. All right, let's talk about Karen Reed. Now, I don't know a lot about this case. Everybody keeps asking me about that. Oh, the numerology is 5525 for the Diddy case. We'll look that up in a second. So Karen Reed. Is Karen Reed? Yeah, but Zephyr, I don't want to use that smartphone because we know what wallet it's been in. The worst kind of wallet. Karen Reed, is she gonna get? I don't even know. Is she convicted? Is she not convicted? Is the case still going on? Karen Reed. What's the energy around Karen Reed right now? Let's look. 5 of coins. Oh, she's on the outside. I'm looking in. I can see through you. Page of coins. New beginning. Oh, boy. Well, the anxiety stops, at least. Dave Murphy, that's okay. Like I said, I'm going to start reading on true crime again. So let me know. Let me know what true crime you want me to read on. I'm going to go outside and smell kittens a little bit later. Oh, kitten update. We'll talk a little bit about kittens. So I know where the kittens are. I am not interfering with her hiding spot, But our cutie patootie is very, very smart. Thank you, Zephyr. So cutie patootie is very smart. She's got them under this tarp that has some yard stuff under it. Nothing terrible. There's like I think some old brewing bottles that are in there. There's a couple of Lego things in there, like minifigure houses. So there's not, I don't know what she's got the kittens in, and I'm not pulling the tarp off to look because I don't want her to move, but there's a slit in the tarp and she's jumping in and out of there. And so like when she jumps out, it closes up, and when she jumps back in, it closes up. She's a smart cat. I actually just took a picture of her. I'll show you the picture. I'll show you a picture of my baby girl, baby mama. Oh, there she is, hanging out, being pretty. And this is the path to my neighbor's house. You can see the little kitty cat path. I know I got to weed my front walkway, but yes, my little angel out there, cutie patootie. Cutie patootie. So they retried her? Huh, they retried her. Simran, yes. If you want a personal question, throw me a $5 in the super chat. If you want a true crime or true conspiracy or pop culture question, just put it all in caps, Simran. So, so it looks like Karen Reed is on the outside of, it's a hung jury, so this is a retrial. Okay, thank you, Zephyr. Zephyr, you are awesome. So where did this happen? Was this like, it was someplace snowy, right? Wasn't it snowy? So it looks like she doesn't have any friends right now. There is nobody defending her on this one. King of Wands in the reverse back here. This is our guy who snuffed him out. It's a snuffing him out. Page of Coins up here, new beginning, and it's going to release the anxiety under the surface. And I think this is a little bit of manifestation. We have the Death card, So what is death? Death is transformation. So I don't think she's going home. I think they're going to lock her up. Let's see. It's the energy. I think she has certainly lost all of her happy thoughts. I don't think she really thinks that she's going home. So is Karen Reed going to be convicted this time? Is she going to be convicted? Sorry, guys, my mouse, I just pushed it. I pushed it down the stairs. 3 of Wands. I you know what? It's still hard to say. I think the lean is toward convicting, but there's still that little bit of doubt. Hang on, muting myself. So there's still that, it's not beyond a reasonable doubt. I think we're going to have trouble with the jury. I think we're going to have trouble with the jury. Defense is doing really good with reasonable doubt. I think they are. So let's get to the truth of the matter. You ready? He was a good looking dude too, but not that it matters. Like, you know, Who was responsible for it? Eyes closed. Two of coins. Two people did it. It was not one person. It's not one person. Oh, Dave Murphy. Thank you. Hang on one second, sweetie. Hang on one second. Two people did it. This was a party of two. And this guy let his like, fortunately, I don't know much about this case. Oh, you think she did? Okay. I don't think they meant to totally dissolve him. I don't think they meant to do that. I think they just meant to rough him up. And I think they were both surprised that he was dissolved at the end of it all. All will be revealed. Was she messing around with that other guy? I think she thought he was. Yeah. I think she was messing around with that other guy a little bit. I think there was some like affair of the heart kind of thing going on. I think there was a bit more to this, and I think he was put out there. Yeah. Huh. All right. Let's talk about the Australian government. Switch it up. Wait a sec. Let me let me get Debbie's question. I got a few questions starred here. So are Elon and Trump going to be able to give us $5,000 checks? Simran, yes. Yes, if you want a personal question, you can drop a $5 in a super chat. Dave Murphy just led the pack on that. Led the pack. I'm not going anywhere yet. Not going anywhere yet. And when I do wrap up, we're all going to go over and party at Fire Daddy Tarot. So, are Elon and Musk going to be able to give every taxpayer the $5,000 check like they said? Let's give it a time frame. So, are they going to be able to do that before the end of the year? How about that? Before the end of the year, are we going to get? Looks like that's a little bit of trouble. How about in tax return next year? Oh, do we still need more time? High Priestess, Eight of Coins. So they're not going to be handing out monies until the job is done. So I think Elon Musk said he was going to be there for, I said he was going to be there. I thought my prediction was Elon Musk was going to be in the position for 18 months, but somebody else said he was going to be there like another 90 days or something. I think that he's going to do the job, and they just have to come up with the final number. I don't think that they can promise any money to anybody until they have the final number of wasted funds. And then they're going to take care of the bills, and then they're going to say, okay, this is what we think we can give you. The $5,000. Why did they tell us about this $5,000? $5,000. Why did they tell us about it? Hey, Merc. My nose is itchy. Who am I getting in a fight with? So, trial balloon. The reason they wanted to underscore the excess and waste. They wanted to underscore that. They wanted to say, you all are due all of this money. Like, all of this money's been wasted. $5,000 was an interesting number. So I just re-listened to Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss, and on the way back from Ohio. And one of the interesting things that he says is when you're negotiating price, you should always give an odd number. So like $12,535, like when you're negotiating a price on something. So yeah, Zephyr, I think we're absolutely due more than $5,000, quite frankly. I am still confused how my family owes taxes. I don't know how that happens, but yes, outer limits, 5K makes no sense. If you save that equivalent, it would suggest the cash would still be available for 5K checks. So the spend is still there. The spend is still there is correct. I think are we going to see a different tax structure? Let's look at that. Are we going to see something different in a tax structure? Different tax structures for us. That was an awkward cutting of the cards and I hurt my finger. Different tax structure. Yes. Six of Swords, Page of Coins. Tax structure is going to be different. So are we going to see maybe Social Security not being taxed? That is something they're going to discuss. How about pensions not being taxed? That is something that's going to be discussed. How about the federal that's taken out of your check every month, every paycheck? That is going to be changed. So I think that, this is kind of padding the landing for us to have a different tax structure. So we'll keep looking at this. Don't worry. All right. So we did Karen Reed. Are we having a judicial coup? Simran, $5 in the super chat is fine. It's fine. I'm sorry. Whatever, I asked for $5. Whatever you got. It's okay. It's okay. Sorry about that. So yeah, Dave Murphy. When you're getting Social Security, they take taxes out of it. So, Carmen, hang on there. I got some questions. On the table right now. Are we having a judicial coup in the United States? Judicial coup. Page of Wands. Ace of Wands. Or Ace of Coins, I'm sorry. Five of Wands in reverse. Hi, wifey. Queen of Coins. Four of Swords. The Tower. If that isn't the cooiest card I've ever seen. So, Penny, the short answer to this is yes. But I think we're at the beginning of the judicial coup. I think Dave Murphy, that's one of the reasons why people in professions like my husband and teachers will move to states that don't tax the pensions. Like sometimes we will do that. Simran, sit tight. I will get to you. Thank you so much for your contribution. Dave Murphy, did I say thank you enough to your contribution? Thank you, Dave Murphy. Really appreciate you. I'm like Dave Murphy's like personal PR crew. So I think, yes, judicial coup, absolutely. That Tower card in reverse, Four of Wands in reverse, we are looking at circumstances that, are really not sustainable. I think there's a lot of money going back and forth. I think there is a lot of pay to play in our judicial system. Excuse me while I respond to the black Cadillacs that just pulled up outside with these nice young men in sunglasses and suits. Oh my, they have a flashy thing. So this coup, revolution, everyone knows I love a revolution. This coup is just gathering speed. And I think it's just since just Mercury and Leo, they are here. I love Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones. I do think that it's gathering speed since the inauguration. Um, Possibly was in talks during the election, but since the inauguration, absolutely, we're now looking at gathering some speed. So, very, very, very interesting. Very interesting here. There is so much dislike of the way that the system runs now. I think we're going to see some fireworks. Let's see. We see fireworks before the end of the year. Hands up. Who likes fireworks? Dave Murphy. I am not a revolutionary. Like I don't want to be at the front line of the revolution. I love the American Revolution. I think the American Revolution is a really cool thing. But I'm one of those people that's going to sit in a tree and watch the revolution happen. Let's see how this shakes out. So I'll be watching. Just tell me when it's over. I'll figure out where I fall into the mix. So hang on. Yeah, Penny. You know what? I take that back. Depending on the circumstances, um, I may get into it. Wolverines. Who's getting that? Who's getting that reference? Wolverines. So your Aries rising. So okay. So are we going to see this in the next year? Are they going to clean it up in the next year? Ten of Wands. It's going to get weird. It's going to get weird. I'm going to tell you that. Judicial system is going to get weird. There's going to be some pushback. There's going to be one person that comes forward. Amy Klobuchar. Interestingly, she's popping into my head. I don't know why. I know that she's not voting in the same direction as Trump, even though he was the one who appointed her. But there's something very interesting about what's going to go on with hers. She's going to have something to do with this. So keep an eye out for her. Keep an eye out for her. But I think in the next year, we're going to start to see who thank you, Amy Coney Barrett. Thank you. Could I get any worse at names today? Like, could I get any worse at names today, Tarot? Knight of Coins, Four of Coins, King of Cups. I mean well, but I'm just kind of talking from the heart, not from the head. No head cards here, guys. So sorry about that, guys. Amy Coney Barrett. Thank you. I'm sorry. I don't know what I'm talking about. Let's see. Gypsy Rose Blanchard. Let's see what's going on with this broad. Now, this is another one. Wasn't her mom like a Munchausen syndrome by proxy or something like that? The override is from the Fed courts, not the Supreme Courts. Yeah, but still, Zeph, she's gonna have something to do with this. She's gonna have something to do with this. Somehow she's involved. And like kind of stopping things from happening. I think it's very interesting. So Gypsy Rose, what's going on with Gypsy Rose? What's her energy right? Wow, anxious. Having a little bit of trouble balancing the whole world. Knight of Coins, money issues here. Does she have some habits that we're not aware of? She doing things like I don't know, like I almost want to say she's like Bad Baby, like that girl that got a whole rap career from going on Dr. Phil. So sorry, my necklace is choking me. The haunted necklace is choking me. She's messed up. There's something going on here, this Gypsy Rose gal. There's a lot of pressure. Like, to be sure, like I'm sure there's a lot of trauma there. But it's almost like she's mismanaging everything in her life, especially money, foundational things. She have kids? She doesn't have kids yet, does she? I'm a little bit worried about Gypsy Rose. This does not bode well. And the Seven of Cups can sometimes be a little mental instability or emotional instability. Let's put it that way. And here with the Devil card, this is like kind of trying to treat it on your own. So, but we've got money issues here, not balancing things here, not bringing money in, not looking good for her. Not looking good for her. So, Samantha, as always, my dear, love it when Samantha shows up. And let's see what's going on in Dave Murphy's side of the world. So right now it's Friday where Dave Murphy is. Dave Murphy, what kind of time of the day is it? Is it morning? Are you going to work? Or are you coming home from work? What's your story? And thank you, Dave Murphy. $5 is not enough. Thank you. That is very kind of you. Election Saturday. Change of government. Let's see. So, I am clairaudient as well. I'm going to do like a little blurb video on the Claires, meet the Claires. I got to get my costumes ready because I am going to dress up for them. But what I'm hearing is metal grinding against it. It's like trying to turn something, and I'm hearing the metal grinding together. So are we going to see change of government? The King of Coins says here that the government that's in place is here to stay. So how does this election go? Page of Swords, Death, Transformation, the Hermit based on information. So does the opposition get elected into office in Australia? Knight of Cups. They like them well enough. I don't know if the Knight is enough to get us over the finish line. Do they outvote the current administration? That looks like a no. The current government feels like it's got deep roots. Deep but shallow. It does feel like they're deep but shallow. And it feels like there's just not enough movement. I don't know if you guys have like the same kind of campaigning that our people do here. They have people that are going out right up into the day of the election. You're not allowed to do it outside the election polls because that's called electioneering here. I don't know if it's called electioneering where you are. But they have people going out and like, they're stumping. Stumping. Wifey, I see your question. I got you, honey. And they are just campaigning and trying to get people out to vote. This needs to be done. If the opposition wants to win, they need to get out and they need to pound the pavement. They need to tell people that change is afoot and change need only be done by ticking your vote. They really do need to motivate individuals to go out. There's a lot more apathy to voting than the opposition thinks. They need to be a bit more aggressive in their campaigning in the next 24 hours. So today's the day. So I hope that they're out there stumping all over the place, trying to make some changes. So I don't know which side you want. So I'm reading for the opposition. I'm like giving the yellow brick road for the opposition. So that would get them some votes, but it feels like the existing government right now. Yeah, right now they need to get out the vote. The existing government right now feels like it's got a strong foothold in terms of the voting at the moment. At the remember though, like when you're supposed to be impartial, but too much work with a change of government. Okay, all right. Yeah, it doesn't feel like it's really moving. It doesn't really feel like it's moving without a lot of lubricant and effort. It is on a Saturday, so I'm sorry. Carmen, Mercury, I see your question. I'm starting to cough too, guys. I'm going to have to do a breathing treatment. I am so sick of being on this nebulizer. I can't even tell you. Pulmonologist in my future. Pulmonologist. I'm going to say, dude, fix my lungs. All right. Is crypto going to take off? Now, Carmen, I have been predicting this. Oh, yeah, Zephyr, it hasn't gone away. It's still with me. I have been predicting that digital currency we're going to have a digital currency come in, and it's going to be Craigopedia is in the chat. Craigopedia has entered the chat. So I don't know if it's a nebulizer or not. I don't know what the problem is. So I've been predicting that one of the digital currencies is going to become like a second layer of the United States economy. I've been saying that for some time. I do think that Bitcoin is the last time I did a reading, I thought that Bitcoin was the forerunner in it. I thought the Bitcoin was really going to take over. But let's look at crypto. 6 of coins. It's not going to take off at the moment. Give it a little bit of time. It's not going to blow up just yet. The crypto ride is a ride. It's a roller coaster. We're going to go up and down, up and down. Wait. Up and down, up and down, up and sort of down. So crypto is scary. It's easy to lose money. And I think that that's really the thing. Like, anybody that's playing stocks, that's investing, you have to understand that the money is going to go in different directions, and you can't be reactive from moment to moment. You have to kind of get in there and either invest in really stable, slow growing stocks, or you have to get in there and be kind of somebody who can jump in and out. Like I don't care if I'm going to lose this money. I'm going to throw $10,000 on this, and if it grows, it grows. If it doesn't, who cares? Because we all have that kind of disposable cash, right? Crypto feels like it's a bit of a ride. So I don't know if I don't think it takes off. This can go either way. This Page of Swords can either say, get the hell off the ride, or it can say, now we've got a new beginning, and it's stabilized somewhat. It's an air element for the swords. So I just don't know. I don't feel super, super confident about it. Now, that being said, let's take a look at Bitcoin. Let's see what Bitcoin says. Hi, Raven. You have an itch? Bitcoin, 5 of coins. The Emperor, 10 of swords. High Priestess, last card for this. Yeah, the Bitcoin, the Batman, the Bitcoin. Bitcoin looks like it's going through some motions too. It's feeling some feels. So, Carmen, hang on to that, because I think I'm going to start doing I'm going to start paying a little bit more attention to crypto, Bitcoin, Dogecoin, and I think I'm going to start talking about them in my shorts. So, you keep an eye on that. So, great question, Carmen. Simran, let's go. Thank you for your contribution. Your contributions, guys, are what keep this channel alive. Oh, nobody likes tap and go? I like tap and go. If somebody wants to rob me, they got to be pretty desperate, because I just don't have that much money in my accounts. All right. Simran, your boss Ben's thoughts for you at work. Let's see. The Chariot. That could be promotion. That could be moving you out. Oh, ask for a raise. Ask for a raise. If you're bringing money in, you can ask for a raise at this point. Like if your numbers are good, you're doing things. King of Cups here on the bottom, though, a little uncertain about how they feel. Five of Swords, still some conflict there. That Page of Swords again. Page of Swords. Ace of Coins. Nine of Cups. 10 of Coins and the Emperor. So this is kind of interesting, Simran. So Ben has some interesting it's almost like when you're good, and when you're not, you're not. So I don't know what sign Ben is, but sorry, putting on my chair heater. It's almost like you're only as good as your last moment of performance. You're only good as the last thing that you've said. It's a very fluctuating kind of disposition toward you. And your workplace is going through some changes, and you're not liking the change. Yeah, and I feel like that's kind of what's going on. They're really trying to separate the cream from the what am I saying? The wheat from the chaff. And I do think that your performance has been good in the past, but you have to keep doing that. So it's almost I do feel that it's a bit of a high pressure situation, having to perform at like such a high level consistently without much support, because it doesn't feel like there's a whole lot of support system to make that happen. So I don't know if you are positioned where you could say, Ben, what do you want to see? Give me a number. Yeah, give me outer limits. I think there is some redundancy going on here. I think they are trying to thin the finances, so to speak. I think they're trying to make things a little bit easier on the budget. And Ben in particular is very reactive to what is directly in front of him. So Simran, what I would advise is always end the week on a high note. Have your problems for, yes, more agile workforce, Greg. Have any of your problems, conflicts, or anything like that resolved Monday through Wednesday. And then on Fridays, you want to have all of your successes. I want you to, if you have to promote yourself, nobody honks your horn unless you do. If you have a great number of things that have gone really well, make sure that people know about that on Friday morning or Thursday afternoon. There are changes happening. You in particular are not on a chopping block of sorts, because I don't think that your ability is recognized entirely. They're saying, like, they're trying to peel away the layers of the onion. Not that you're an onion. You could be a parfait. You could be a cake. Cake's got layers too. That's from Shrek. That's not mine. So, I think that Ben has to throw up to his leadership. Parfait. I think Ben has to throw up to his leadership. Well, these are the people that I am elevating and removing from the system. So, Simran, what it means is that Ben doesn't know if you have any secret superpowers. Your performance is good, but he is waiting to see the secret superpowers. If you show secret superpowers in business, you potentially get pushed up and into an elevated position. You could vie for an elevated position. So, like I said, Monday through Wednesday, any issues that you have with clients, with process, anything like that, have a Monday through Wednesday, and don't ask 15 times to have something fixed or something corrected or some issue addressed. On Thursday or Friday morning, if you made a big sale, if you have navigated a problem successfully, I want you to make sure that people know about that. Honk your horn loud. Because you want Ben to go into the weekend going, that Simran was great at what he did. He really made my weekend. He or she, I don't know, I don't know if you're a guy or a girl. Really did a crack job on that. That's awesome. I can go into the weekend with a success under my belt. That I think is going to be your best bet. Remember, main thing, Ben is looking at the moment. This is somebody who lives entirely in the moment. And you are only as good as, thank you, Simran, you're a girl. All right. So you're only as good as your last moment of performance and presentation. So the fact that you're a girl, you have lots of stuff in your favor. Okay. So like I said, any issues you have, any back and forth or bottlenecks with an employee or a fellow employee or a colleague, have those at the beginning of the week, resolve them before the end of business Wednesday. And then Friday, all of your successes are kind of laid out. Oh, I did these great things. This worked out great. So all of your sales, like if you were a salesperson, I would say, make sure you drop it like, oh God, I killed it this week. I had 8 sales. I can't believe I had 8 sales. And Ben would go, what? You had 8 sales? Let me take a look at that. Let's have a talk. Blah, 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 blah. And then you sit down and you have a talk about it. And Ben goes, oh, that's great. Simran, have a great weekend. Oh my God, why don't you duck out of here early and go get yourself a cocktail? That really is, oh, you're in sales project. Fantastic. All right. So that's easy. That's easy. Well, not sales is easy, but presenting what you have done in sales is easy because you just let that drop in your Slack chat, in your WebEx chat. Hey, I did great. Team meeting. Yeah, I killed it this week. I got my feet up. You put a meme in there. I'm cruising. So, but you don't like this change. Well, unfortunately, sometimes I was in sales at my insurance company. I worked at an insurance company, one of the largest brokers in the United States, up until it'll be 2 years in October. And I didn't like some of the changes that they made either. But sometimes you gotta move. You gotta move with it. You gotta figure out how to make that move for you. Wifey, you had an earthquake today? What? I'm not feeling a thing up here. I'm not feeling a thing up here. So Simran, good luck to you. Good luck to you. Corporate is not fun. Corporate is not fun. Simran, you know what? Get the book. Wait, I'm going to put it in here. I'm going to put it in here. Hang on, Simran. This is going to be the best $8. Amazon. Let me see. There you go. Simran, get this on Audible. And don't look back. If you have Kindle Unlimited, it is actually included, which makes me a little bummed out because I think I bought it. So this is a book called Never Split the Difference, and it gives you awesome negotiating skills. Awesome negotiating skills. Whether you're negotiating a sale, whether you're negotiating a contract, negotiating keeping your job, it is absolutely a fantastic read. I tell everybody to get this book. Do not share it with your children and your spouse because you will never win a fight again. Right, Greg? Are you going to say, you'll never win a fight again? I can see how you feel that way. What do you feel would make this deal work out better? What do you like about this idea? So I'm doing all Chris Voss stuff right now. You'll never win a fight. Yeah. Simran, good luck to you. Good luck to you, my dear. All right. Last question. Wifey, you've been asking me this question for years. How do the writers of The Simpsons get so many predictions correct? Debbie, where are you talking about the you really like the food? Debbie, where are you with your earthquakes? Everybody's talking about earthquakes. Where are you, Deb? All right, how do the Simpsons get all of their predictions right? What is going on here? All right, guys, I'm going to get super nutty here right now. Super nutty like a payday bar. All right, you ready, wifey? They're time traveling. This is time traveling. Now, do I mean they have like a time travel machine, like, 12 monkeys? They go back and forth. I don't know. But they're time travelers. They have writers on there that are traveling. Are they psychics? Are they, remote viewing and going back and forth and doing all kinds of crazy stuff? Maybe. The reason for it is to avoid catastrophe. This is to protect and avoid catastrophe and to slow down the bad things that'll happen in the world. To change things. Oh, Renee Kennedy, really? Are they? Renee, you may be right. You may be crazy. 5 of Swords, High Priestess in reverse, and Ace of Swords. There is talk about the machine in the Vatican. There's supposed to be a machine. There's allegedly a machine. You could go back in time, and I do think that there is some time travel that is going on here. Some either peeking into different times, and they're sprinkling it in. They're sprinkling it in. Vatican goggles. No, it's not the Vatican goggles. What is the name of that machine, Greg? Please look that up for me. Help me out. What happened to Debbie? We know too much. We do know too much. Greg, just keep an eye on the Ring camera in case they come for me. Yeah, astro traveling and time traveling. Remote viewing is kind of the same thing. We can remote view. I've been to places in the Vatican people will never see. And no, there's no machine, or we'd have Peter back. Okay. Wait, is that really the name of it, Greg, or are you just making that up? The Chronovisor? It was on the Y-Files, wasn't it? Chronovicar? Chronovicar. Yeah. Yeah. So it's yes. Peter the Roman, as predicted. Oh. I don't know if they can bring people back with it. I don't know if it's we actually go there. I think it's more of like a visual thing. Like we're kind of looking at what's going on there. The Rock, Peter the Apostle. Not to be confused with Dwayne Johnson. So yeah. Grover Cleveland had a time machine? What? Really? Greg, how long have I been married to you? Why haven't you told me that before? Grover Cleveland. Oh. Oh, the Monarch had it. Okay. Thank you, Greggy. Peter the Roman is allegedly going to be the last pope. So, all right, Peter the Roman. Is Peter the Roman Peter Brabeck? Wait, saying that wrong. Could Peter the Roman be Peter Brabeck, the new head of the Weffy? But yes, it's a yes. But it is an amalgamation. It's not just Peter the Roman in there. There's a little bit of a soup going on there. Little bit of a soup. So, is our next pope going to be our last pope? He's the last in line. Oh, Nestle. Oh, Nestle is the very best. They charge for water. Is the next pope the last pope? One card. No, I don't think so. Not yet. Not yet. So Mercury and Leo. How are you doing? With what was his name? Greg, help me out. Yeah. What's his name? Mercury and Leo. Your relationship endures, but it sucks because it is not in the real Earth plane. It is not in the real Earth plane. So, as much of a reprieve from life, James Hetfield, thank you. It is so sad when you wake up and he is not there. Like the Amy Winehouse song, and I wake up alone. And I wake up alone. Bathed in blue light. Let's see. Is Fire Daddy still live? Is he still going live? Oh, I don't think he's streamed 1 minute ago. I think he ended. Yep, he ended. To say we could all go over to Fire Daddy, but he is not live anymore. So, all right, guys, we're all stuck on this planet. But Zephyr, we could get the chance to go on to other planets. That could possibly happen. We could wind up reincarnated on other planets. It's one of the things in remote viewing, my study of remote viewing. They caution you not to go and look at other planets until you're a bit more confirmed, when you have more confirmable targets that you've worked with. And then after a while, you can start to go on to other planets. And like some of the stuff that people in the chat group and the video groups, because Lori Williams does, there's a club that you can pay to belong to, and you get to go to these really fun little Zoom meetings with other people that are remote viewers, and you get to talk about some things. And some of the people do go and they look at other planets and life on other planets, and it's actually really cool, some of the stuff that they come up with. So so will the next pope be Italian? Dave Murphy. When they presented all of the popes, I was leaning toward the African guy. So is it an Italian guy? An Italian pope is always a favorable pope. Zephyr, I would never, don't you worry. You did see a tall white in an underground lab, Greg. Is the African candidate, and I can't remember where they said he was from. I think they said he was from the Congo. African candidate, is he going to be the next pope? Oh, huh. Interesting. I'm not going to go any deeper on that right now, because I am going to do I'm going to do some readings on them for shorts for the next couple of days. But laboratory, what is going on with rabbits? I am traditional Catholics. Yes, I'm looking at everyone's comments. I'm going to have to cook dinner for these kids. Do I really have to cook dinner for these kids? Yeah, I think I do. Guys, I think that's it for me. I think I am tapped out. I got up early. I did a lot of fun stuff today. I got a live in for you. I got 2 lives in. So I hope everybody had a great time. Thank you. Those of you that contributed, I appreciate it. Like I said, you guys keep my channel going. Remember that I do have some specials going on for personal readings right now, magical readings for you. And you can see that at a link in my bio or here. And tips. This was actually Tipsy Tarot. There was a big shot of Jameson's in this. Everybody's saying, oh, it would be. Wifey's husband had knee surgery. Tell that Marine to get well soon. Heal it up. So this was a little Tipsy Tarot. I'm not super drunk. Tomorrow, will I be on tomorrow? No, Mercury and Leo, but I think I will be on Saturday. I have to do a members only live. My members have been grossly neglected, and I need to do a members only live. I need to give away some readings to them. And tomorrow night, Gregopedia and I will be having tipsy humans. We will be tipsy humans tomorrow. We have a wine tasting to go to, which is going to be pretty fun and exciting and a good time. And Gregopedia is going to be on a boat before that, but I have some readings that I have to do during the day, and I've got physical therapy in the morning. So I am not missing my acupuncture before a night out. Sorry about that. But if you guys want to get a reading, I still have some time tomorrow. Thank you so much. It's good to be back and have a live reading here. No, there's wine there, Gregopedia. There's wine there. I will be drinking wine. You can drink brown liquor. But we're taking an Uber. We're not driving. I'm not driving. You're not driving. We're not driving to this. So somebody can pick us up and drop us off there. So that is all I have to say about that. So to my friends, cheers. Dave, I will keep in touch with you about your election. I want to pay attention to what's going on with your election. But I'm going to go. Oh, Greg, our other son is here. Brandon, too. Brandon was here. I don't know if they left again, but yeah, it's right up the road. It's like a $10 Lyft, Uber, $10 up the road. So, all right, everybody, have a great night. I will see you later. Bye-bye.